Hey guys, this is a live podcast recorded at the Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon a couple of weeks ago. It was a very fun show. It was for the VIP ticket holders, and now I'm giving it to you via the internet. Couple quick notes that are usually a problem with these live recordings. This was probably the best sounded recording. No, I've had some good ones. The best one as of late, though, but there were a couple of problems. And one, I should probably be recording the audience. I should probably be putting a microphone out there, but I'm not. So they're soft in a couple of points when they actually were very lively and very fun. It was a very fun crowd there. And also, Just Incredible, who's the first guest, he has the microphone away from him a little bit. Also, the microphones were a bit dodgy. I think we switched it out right after Mondo. But you can barely hear it. It comes off great, I'm pretty sure. And that's a big thanks to Declan Quinn, a.k.a. Creaky. He keeps on helping out with some of these audio issues that I have. If you have any audio issues on podcasts or anything else, he'll help you out at D.E. Quinn on Twitter. Good dude. Very good dude. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to get into it. But before we do, let's get into some plugs and
upcoming events.
All right, some quick upcoming events. This Saturday and Sunday, March 21st and 22nd, I will be in Cardiff, Wales, filmandcomiconcardiff.com. Mania weekend, I'll be all over the place. Actually, Friday, March 27th, I'm hosting 3 comedy shows. ComedySuplex.com. RVD is headlining, I think. Also, 3 sessions at WrestleCon.com. That's mainly where I'm going to be. I'm wrestling Saturday night also. And then at the end, at midnight after the Hall of Fame, we're doing Fans versus Wrestlers Jeopardy. I'm going to host that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Friday, April 3rd, I'll be in Yeovil, England, Facebook/Ultimate Pro Wrestling. Saturday, April 4th in Portsmouth, England. Sunday, April 5th in Broxburn, England. RevolutionProWrestling.com. I am the handler of Matt Classic. He's going to show up. He'll be doing squats in a basement probably while I'm just there hanging out, maybe selling some merch. You know the deal. Thursday, April 9th, I have a comedy show in Chicago. ColtCabana.com is where you can get those tickets. We're watching Bad Wrestling. Should be a lot of fun. Friday, April 10th, Berwyn, Illinois, AAWrestling.com. Saturday, April 11th, LaSalle, Illinois, DreamWaveWrestling.com. The usual plugs, ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, Twitter and Instagram at Colt Cabana. Email ColtWrestling@gmail.com. Very public. Maybe you're a promoter, you want to put me on your upcoming show or convention. Also, I got Facebook/AOW Podcast and Colt Cabana, and ColtCabana.com is my website. I got a P.O. box. I love getting snail mail. Kathleen from West Virginia has just kept on sending me these heartfelt postcards. I really dig them. Thanks, Kathleen. Also, before we jump into it, we do have a sponsor for today's show. Please support them. SuplexApparel.com. It's a clothing line, but it's also a team brand, if you will. It's very cool because I think this is a first of its kind in the wrestling genre, if you will. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Dave Mastiff, Prince Devitt, a.k.a. Finn Balor, and Zack Sabre Jr. all represent Suplex Apparel wherever they go all over the world. And now so does their first lady wrestler. Wise choice. Gail Kim is on the Suplex team. You can also rep this stuff too. That's the cool part. Shirts, hoodies, jackets, beanies. It's all very cool. They ship worldwide. Pro wrestling focused clothing for like-minded wrestlers and fans. That's suplexapparel.com. I say we jump into it. This was a real fun one. Enjoy yourself for a little bit, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
This is The Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
It's Colt Cabana.
Too kind. You're too kind. All right, come on in. How you guys doing? Let's do this. Sit down. You're about to listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a life podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway to the minds, the souls, the hearts, and lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. Hello, hello. I am a masshole. I am a man who packs my kid in a heaven. I just want to do it as awful as possible. Thank you. Wicked, Tea Party, Family Guy, Cheers. That guy. Most importantly, though, I am a professional wrestler, and we are not here live in my studio. Nope, we're not. I'm here at the Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon in front of the VIP ticket holders and a group of lovely people. Give yourself a hand, huh? Before we go any further, this is a fan-supported and listener-supported podcast supported by people just like you. We give it to you free of charge every single Thursday on ColtCabana.com, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts from. A couple great ways that you can support. Rate, subscribe on iTunes. Tell a friend when you're done here. Let everybody know who comes in with general admission that they're a bunch of assholes and should have been on the VIP. That's a good way. Or if you got there you go. Or if you got a couple of bucks in your pocket, head on over to ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, t-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs, digital downloads. Episodes 1 through 35, Wrestling Road Diaries. Also, if you're here live and in person, I will be sitting over at ColtMerch.table, and you can just get it in person. Save yourself some shipping, but it's all appreciated. ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com. We're going to have a game here because Tony Atlas is sitting back there and hasn't stopped talking the whole time. So you at home or you here in the crowd? And this is the joke we all agreed upon to laugh at, right? Yeah. Okay. Every time you hear Tony Atlas, you all take a shot. You hear that? Oh, man. Humor. One guy even laughed like Tony Atlas. I'm going to take it. What's your name, bud? Mike. All right, Mike, give me a Tony Atlas laugh. Was that right, Tony? He doesn't even know we're doing a thing. All right. I don't have any really stories from Boston. I did get my arm sliced open. I have a crazy scar. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that scar. That's from 12 years ago. Braintree, that's a place, right? Yep. Right, which is also the same name if you hold your balls together. You make a Braintree. So you guys will never forget that. Yeah, and I remember it was me and I think Punk versus BJ Whitmore and Raven in Ring of Honor. Was anyone there by any chance? We got one back there. Nice. And we got one who was there live and one who's bought the DVD. So that's working out well. And I remember I invited a friend who was going to Harvard. She was like going to be a doctor. And I was going to like impress her with like my wrestling. And then she watched me wrestle. And she watched me had to go to the emergency room for 8 hours. And I didn't even get to see or talk to her. And that was my experience with your, I was going to say country, with your city. Kind of is a country. All right, we have a fun show. We're going to talk to some people. We're going to bring them in and out. And then hope you guys have a blast. And we'll get it done. All right, first guest coming to the stage. People at home don't know it's not a stage, right? We were going to do it in the ring, but I thought that would be weird. It'd be hard to see. You'd have to look through the ropes. That'd be different. First person coming to the stage is not just the best. He's not just the most handsomest. He's not just funny. He's not just charming. He's not just still wearing his wrestling gear. Please welcome Justin Credible. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, what are the different Justins that you've heard? Justin Asshole's a one.
Justin Arm Drag.
Justin Arm
I
Drag.
used to chant that once in a while.
Because that's
what Paul Heyman really wanted to do at first, was have people like in the crowd say stuff like that. Like, just a headlock, just, play off the Justin thing, which never took off. But
we don't hear about the ways that Paul Heyman was an idiot.
no, just the victories.
Yeah, it's just by his design. That's how smart he is.
Well,
but and I want to get into. There's probably been some bombs, huh?
There's just the thing that makes his genius is he turns his bombs or other people's bombs into successes. Because there's a ton of bombs in ECW, especially towards the end. When Bilvis Wesley, that Elvis. Remember that?
I loved Bilvis Wesley.
I did too. He's a good friend of mine.
Are you telling me that was a bomb?
I think that was Are you kidding me?
I'm so heartbroken right now.
But
so that was his brainchild.
There's a lot. He just threw a bunch of shit up on the wall and whatever would stick. I mean, I love Paul. Everybody always starts with "I love Paul,"
Right.
but
And this isn't like obviously. I think by telling anything, it's all a celebration because I think he's being
absolutely.
loved in the wrestling community.
You know, absolutely. I mean,
but fuck that motherfucker. No, just kidding.
no, you know what? A lot of us would never have been here and had the opportunities if it wasn't for him. But you know, ECW itself. I mean, he just he gets a lot of kudos and people put him over for being this great booker. He might have been early on, but towards the end, he just put ECW on a flyer and wrote matches as they were going. I mean, sometimes we'd be in intermission and I still wouldn't know who I was wrestling in the main event.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, I think a lot of times he gets credit for just for being. It was just the time. It was what it was. And
well, not that I dare say that, but like, right, Vince was a genius. Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania, and then it's like,
well,
nowadays you see like he's just WWE on the marquee.
You just have to be a genius for one or two things,
right?
Really. Because Vince is. I mean, and that's really true in all of life. I mean, I've struck out more times than I've hit home runs, but it just if you hit a couple of them, you're always remembered for that. I mean, and even in baseball, the batting averages, guys, if they hit four hits out of 10 at bats. Your batting average is pretty
right.
So I think
Tony Armas. I'm just trying to say Boston Red Sox players baseball cards that I had. Like Mike Greenfield, Calvin Schiraldi. Did I say it wrong? Greenwell. Oh, he wasn't a Jew.
I'm in bad territory because I'm a New York guy. So yeah. The one thing though I did love, I was a huge Celtic fan. Still am, unfortunately.
Oh, like somebody Parrish, Rod Parrish. He always looked like the oldest person alive.
Do you guys ever remember this? You remember he got busted a while back for having weed delivered to his house? Remember that?
Robert Parrish did?
Yeah. That was like a big controversy when he's still playing with the Celtics.
Delivered like by Domino's?
Yeah, by the mail. And it
was by the mail?
And it had his numbers on it, like the 00 Chief on it. Swear to God. I thought, but anyways, I digress.
Well, nothing to digress about. Something I did want to talk about was coming here.
Yeah.
So recently, I was just in a pretty crazy accident where I survived. Nothing really happened to me, but I got railed by another car, right? Yeah. And you got taken down by, or your car broke.
Oh, it just broke down.
Broke down.
Yeah, I'm the shits. My car's the shits. My wife has the. My wife, of course, if you're married, you're not married, you know this, but the guy always has the shit car, and the wife has the good car. So it was that situation, but she saved the day and actually made her come up here with me. So
yeah, I was gonna think of and I can. There's just memories I have, but I don't know if anything comes to mind of times going to a show. It's got to be in the
one that sticks out. I was a kid. And it was so funny. It was like
get out of here.
When I was Aldo Montoya, I was a kid once. It was '95. I was Aldo Montoya, and I just bought for my first brand new car ever, which was a '95 Volkswagen Jetta. The red ones. It was pretty cool, with the top and stuff. Really nice, and I thought it was the shit. And anyways, I drove it up to Syracuse for one of the In Your House pay-per-views. Actually, the In Your House that Savio Vega debuted at. And I was so cool because I was driving by myself and I was rolling up, Briscoe and Pat Patterson and Vince were pulling in at the same time. And I beat to them. I'm like, yeah, look at me.
Check out the Jetta.
Anyway, no.
Who's in the Jetta?
But that night was actually a huge, huge blizzard. And I was coming back home. I think... for some reason, I don't know if I had to go to...
Were you on the In Your House?
I was, yeah.
What was your...
Well, my spot was Razor and Jeff Jarrett, and I came in to make the save on Razor. Him and Road Dogg were...
In your Jetta?
Not in the Jetta. I should have. And then as they shit-canned me for for the unsuccessful save, then Savio came out of the crowd. That was my spot.
I don't remember Savio Vega's debut at all.
That was in Syracuse on that show.
He just came out of the crowd like Earthquake style, or
I don't.
Remember when Earthquake was sitting just in the crowd?
I don't.
They're like, you sit on Ultimate Warrior's back while doing push-ups. That's
yeah.
But he came out like, I was supposed to be here. I'm coming out. Yes. Man, I'm going to go watch that on the network that I don't pay for.
But then it's funny. I was driving home. It was a huge blizzard, and I got stuck on the Mass Pike. For some reason, I was taking the Mass because it's a long story. But where I live in Connecticut, the other way, which is faster, but it's also winding road, so I figured I'd just take the Mass Pike onto 91, and I got stuck and I couldn't move, and nobody was coming. I mean, there was no cars out there. There was like a travel alert, and that's when you know you're still a kid, is when you have to call your mother and father to come bail you out.
Oh, I got hit, and I was just like, who do I call? What do I do?
Yeah.
I was like, police. I asked the police, I go, like, what do I do now? I'm 34 years old.
There was no cell phones at the time. You know?
Especially if you don't have a cell phone.
Now everybody's got GPS cell phones. We didn't have any of that. There were pay phones and an atlas. And I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but seriously,
Wait, so what? How did you call you? You walked to a payphone?
I walked to a payphone, yeah, at the rest area. You know, they have the rest areas on the Mass Pike, and I walked and.
And what? So what was your mom's advice?
No, they just said, "Stay where you are. We'll come get you." And they had the car towed. I was a kid. I was 19, dude.
What if Vince? What if Vince drove by in his limo and was like, "Hey"? Same way with the Jetta.
But
you made an announcement tonight, kind of in the show.
I mean, I
a
made
casual.
It a while ago.
Okay,
I made it a while ago. That hasn't gotten a lot of press because I'm really not trying to make it. Like, I'm not trying to sell this whole deal, but I just kind of. Not to be a downer or a bummer, but I sometimes, especially recently, I tend to be. Just I figured this year is going to be it for me as a ring performer.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I won't come out and do the shows or do autographs if there's a market out there for it. But I have always had a hard time in my life separating this, which I love more than anything, and I've tried to have a job, a real job, which I got very turned off and tried to juggle that with a wrestling career because I've been a pro wrestler and that's all I've done for 23 years. I've had odd jobs, but last time I tried to go to culinary school, and we talked about this on your podcast before, and you got me. I got harassed at work, made fun of, buried by God forbid. I'm trying not to be a bum.
Right.
I'm trying to earn a living for my family, but somehow fans thought that was demeaning, or somehow they think I made $1 million. I don't know what they think people really make up there sometimes. But they think because I had a couple of years, I had 3 runs, but, a couple of years at a time, they think like I should, have enough money to retire.
Yeah. And to be fair, even like young in my career, I was like, if I could only get 3 years on TV, I'll be able to live forever. I had the same thought.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
And when I got, especially, man, back in the 90s, the times were lean. You look at your 1099, you made, I made, 85 grand. That's cool, but oh, by the way, I pay all my hotel, travel, and food. Okay, and then by the way, you have to pay something called taxes on that. So,
besides Ric Flair, sure, everyone.
But that's one thing I'm glad they're doing now because they didn't. Now there's all kinds of education, and they try to. But back then, man, you were really, if you didn't know what you were doing, that's why so many of our great legends in this business get into that financial trouble because you just don't know. And at 19 years old, I didn't know. I thought I was living the dream.
Was there a guy who would because there had to have been a guy who would preach do your taxes. I put my money away. Who was
Tony Gurria?
Tony Gurria was the guy.
He was awesome. He was right though, man. And I mean, even still to this day, I mean, he's not with them anymore, but he'd been with them for 20, 30 years, even after being a wrestler as an agent. And he'd bought all kinds of property over throughout Connecticut. And rents him out, him and his son. But that's what he did. He put his money away.
So, and also, everybody has a Tony Gurria impression. Can you give us that impression of him saying that to you? Sorry to put it.
No, this is great, and it's fun. It's only funny now because I actually saw the match. I was watching the network, and it was Tony Gurria versus Jose Luis Rivera.
Yeah.
And Tony, when I was even before Aldo, I was starting getting my break doing opening matches at TVs and house shows. And he'd always do, and he'd give me the same finish almost every night. But he would say it with, this was the most revolutionary thing. PJ, how about you make your comeback, and then you go up top. You give him a cross body. What? Like he said, it was, and I actually saw the match.
God came down, gave him this idea.
It was this revelation. And then, of course, I saw this. It was like one of those old school broadcasts that they have. I think it was like Madison Square Garden. And he did the infamous crossbody roll.
He was passing it on to you is what he was doing.
You know what? I owe him a lot
because of that finish.
No, not because of the finish. When I first got there, man, I was, back then too, you could rent cars a lot younger now. I was on the road at 19. My first ever weekend on the road, I traveled because I didn't know anybody. I wasn't friendly with anybody. Couldn't rent my own car. I traveled with Tony Gurria, Chief Jay Strongbow, and Rene Goulet.
Wow.
I loved it. Goulet was awesome. But, that's just how I couldn't rent a car. And then, of course, that's when Razor Scott Hall kind of said, you're not traveling.
We'll take them. Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't back then. You had to be, I think, like at that time, 24. I didn't have credit cards yet.
Right.
But it was just I owe a lot to him, and he always watched out for me.
That's great.
He was a cool dude, man.
Well, cool, man. Well, I guess as you wind down we look forward to seeing you in the rings, but the goal is hopefully to stay around in wrestling.
It's you know what it is, man. It's just the business is, I guess, and you know it as well as I do. When it's hot, it's hot. When it's good, it's good. Last year I had a great year. And actually, you helped me out by doing your podcast, and two, by getting me hooked up with the Pro Wrestling Tees people.
Great.
In 2005, I thought about just doing something different. I was in a bad place. I was hooked on drugs and just in a really shitty place, emotionally and physically, mentally. And I said to my wife, you know what? The only way I could probably get clean is just quit the business. Just forget it, do something else. And then I swear to God, 2 weeks later, Dreamer calls me. Oh, by the way, we're starting ECW up again.
Oh man.
Do you wanna? So every time I say I'm gonna not do it, something always it always comes when you don't expect.
There's always something.
When you need it, it never comes.
And by the way, congratulations, you're my butler.
Yeah. So
here's $100,000 a year. I wish.
Take it.
Yeah. What's your social media stuff and everything?
I'm sorry. Oh, social media. Follow me on Twitter at PJ Polaco, PJPOLACO. YouTube for my Pro Wrestling 101 shows. Just click in Pro Wrestling 101 on the search engine, and my website, www.thejustincredible.com, has all my T-shirts, podcasts, whatever else I do. And if you're interested in merch, prowrestlingtees.com/JustinCredible.
Just Incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Also, one more time for being sober and being awesome, Just Incredible, too. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Keep it up, man. We're all proud of you. Speaking of someone we're not proud of, let's welcome my next guest to the stage. No, pretty cool. One half of the former WWE Tag Team Champions, Mike Mondo. Mike Mondo. He's got to do a run. I told you were second on the card, buddy. You're in the popcorn spot.
Boom, boom. I gotta make a couple corrections on my introduction there.
Was it WWF?
Well, no. You got the E right. It's 1/5 of the WWE Tag Team Champions.
No.
Oh yeah.
Because you won the match, right?
Well, Kenny actually got the pin, but I was technically in the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck those other guys.
Well.
Listen.
It's just showing the paycheck, damn it.
But wait, if I was in the... You came here bragging how you were 1/5.
1/5.
But you were in the match.
Yeah.
That just shows the kind of... You're like the nicest human being ever. You're willing to share the love.
That's what I'm all about, man. Sharing the love. It's all about the love.
Is it?
Yeah. Always treat people how you want to be treated in life.
Fuck off. Fuck you.
Oh, I'm serious. Come on.
Who did you guys beat to become the champions?
Who did we pick to become the champions?
Who did you guys beat to become the champions?
That would be the Big Show and Kane. Right, ladies and gentlemen?
Wait, hold on.
Yep. Trivia.
You beat the Big Show and Kane?
Yeah.
Little Mikey Mondo?
Man, they didn't call me the Giant Killer in the past for nothing.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
You're basically you were right before Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
On Dude's People
Well.
Against the Big Show and Kane, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think
You had the same push too, right?
Yeah, I think I was involved in something like that, something very similar. But I think I could have made it to that next pedestal, though. Little something inside of me, little something inside of me that knows he could have been that next, the next thing, the next somebody.
You mean like your guts and intestines and stuff?
Yeah.
Is that? Okay, so we had a couple of things we wanted to get to.
Yep.
Because yesterday Kenny Dykstra was here, and I was trying to pull away his pull-away pants. Because I always thought it was super weird that you guys, as the Spirit Squad, I guess I haven't really said that part of the Spirit Squad. You guys wrestled in pull-away pants.
We did.
It's so weird, especially like nowadays, everyone's kind of wrestling in jeans and like you probably remember that stigma of like you can't be a backyard wrestler, and like so everyone had to have like gear and everything. And I always thought it was weird that
tights, the boots, the wrist tape, the whole nine, look like a pro wrestler.
It always sets you apart, which is weird how it's going full circle now. Cliff Compton told me the other day, a mutual friend of ours.
Yes.
He's like, you'll never see me in wrestling gear again. Those guys look stupid.
It's really true. Like, no one is really in wrestling gear anymore because I think, maybe the whole MMA thing took over. So now it's like,
but they're not MMAing in jeans.
Well, not in jeans, but, let's get past the jean part. We're talking about, those.
I'm going to give Punk a call and be like, hey, I know how you're going to be successful.
That's right.
He's gonna get a Wranglers sponsorship.
The jeans?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Wrangler, you want in?
I want it.
Wranglers jorts, like tight ones, hipster style, with Jimmy John's just plastered on the side of his head.
I bet you the royalties are pretty sweet on that.
I'm sure they'd be nice.
Wrangler's pretty over, right? Right?
So at that time, you guys start wearing tearaway pants.
We did. We wore tearaway pants. And I actually have a good story about the tearaway pants if you all want to hear it.
Please.
Everyone remembers Big Vis? Of course. Love Big Vis. Great guy. And he actually gave me a great introduction to the WWE because we were testing out the old Spirit Squad, gimmick. And I went on the road with Kenny. This is before I was an official member. And Big Vis was an opponent of Kenny, and I was on the outside. And we rotate along the loop. So the ending involved me hopping up and getting beeled in the ring. And so I hopped up when the finish came. Big Vis comes. He grabs me, and I can just feel all of a sudden click on the side of my pants. And I'm like, uh-oh, I know where this is going. This ain't going to be too good. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why Kenny sewed his pants up. I found out a couple minutes later because when Big Vis decided to beel me into the ring, all the way down. And no, it didn't stop there. Oh, no. Big Vis thought it would be funny because he goes, all I hear is, oh, no, Mondo, you ain't going anywhere yet. He pulls me right in, total pants off the rear end, and proceeded to then throw me on top of Kenny, where it was Kenny on the bottom, I was on top. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Big Vis proceeded to, how do we say this? Make love to me and Kenny at the same time in the middle of the ring in front of thousands in attendance. Good thing it wasn't TV, by the way, because that would have millions around the world as well.
I think we learned one thing important from that story is that Kenny's a bottom and Mikey's a top.
Wow, wow, wow.
So wait, so your pants were off.
Pants were off.
What were you wearing?
Good thing I was wearing my tights underneath, actually.
Just a pair of trunks?
Well, I shouldn't say tights, more like tighty whities.
You were in your tighty whities?
I was in my tighty whities. But I remember just 1, 2, 3 bouncing right out of there, and Kenny's just laughing his ass off. And I'm just like, oh, man, this is a great way to come into the company.
Yeah, and especially... Well, I mean, I guess there's one thing to get ribbed, but like, especially like you're trying to make a good impression.
But it was an inadvertent rib. Like I almost ribbed myself, really, if you think about it. I should have been smart enough. Oh, these pants are probably gonna rip when I get peeled over. What do you do, people? What do you do? Just another Mondo moment. That's all it was.
Are there lots of Mondo moments?
Oh, there's lots of Mondo moments.
I like how you've quoted yourself as having Mondo moments.
Well, I shouldn't say I quote myself. I kind of more like get called out. Mostly happens at MoCap, in California, which I enjoy going out there once a month to make some WWE video games. Who here's a WWE gamer here, huh? All right.
Now,
all right.
are you allowed to say that you do the motion capture work for the WWE video games?
Yeah, I would say.
Okay, I think I got in some trouble for saying stuff once.
Well, I think you got to be careful about the pictures and the videos and social media and everything.
You sounded like my Jewish mother there, and the pictures, and the video, and the Twitter, and the
Jewish. Jewish?
Just it was the cadence. Oh. Yeah. Are you Jewish?
No, my cousin is though.
Go on.
Yeah, my cousin's Jewish, and I was actually very jealous of him when I was younger because his aunt, my aunt, his mom is Catholic, and his father is Jewish. So he was like a tweener, So, yeah.
It's a different way to put it.
I guess. But when we were younger, of course, presents, Christmas, right? All 9. Well, he gets presents not only on Christmas but on Hanukkah as well. So he always had double the fun, double the.
That's what they say.
I
Us
wanted to be
Jews.
Jewish.
Us Jews, double the fun. It could be 8 times the fun, wouldn't it? I don't even know.
But
All right. Well, Mondo, you're still doing it.
Still doing it. Still
Mocapping.
Still wrestling.
Wrestling.
Wrestling mostly in the weekends. Overseas stuff when it presents itself.
Have you done overseas stuff?
I have. I recently just came back from Scotland a couple months ago.
Oh, nice.
Edinburgh, beautiful.
Can I stop you there? Yeah. Edinburgh.
Oh, right. You're right.
Yeah.
I got called out on that.
Yeah.
It's Borough.
Edinburgh.
Just silent.
And you would know that as a guy who lived in Louisville.
We had a conversation about Louisville, like, I forgot it was a joke about Louisville. Like,
I was probably
saying
something.
Say something like,
It was something. I said something hilarious. You laughed.
Probably.
It was wonderful.
Give and take.
Yeah.
I responded. You counteract. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were just like, Colt, you're so funny. And I was like, oh, stop. I'll tell the Louisville joke another time. No, but you went over
Nigeria.
You also went to Nigeria, right?
Yeah, that was.
Did you wrestle the Power Udi?
Oh, actually, there was 2 tours for those that don't know what was going on in that third world country. Which, by the way, Nigeria, if you're thinking about blacktop roads, you're thinking about Walmart, 7-Eleven, forget that. No, not happening.
I like how, Walmart, 7-Eleven, and blacktop roads?
Yeah, not happening, because every road was like dirt, holes. I mean, I'm talking about like everywhere you go.
And for those of you at home who didn't see that visual by Mondo, it was him just bumping up and down like he was...
well, it took like 3 hours.
Like he was the top that he is.
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If I can't be more passionate about something that I'm going to say about right now, this is it. Everything, and I mean everything with a capital E on it, went wrong from touchdown, take off the touchdown. When I got back into the American soil, which is Louisville, Kentucky at the time, I literally kissed the ground I walked on before I got in the taxi.
Nigeria was awful, huh?
No place like America.
Oh, God bless America.
Oh, God bless
Who was
America.
on that Nigeria tour with you?
It was Val Venus, yes, Shelton Benjamin, which we reminisce often. Kevin Sullivan, he's here somewhere. I know he was on the tour with me. He's somewhere, but he was there. And actually, I got something here.
You just hit me in the dick.
Well, I got a little excited here. I got a little story to tell you. I asked Kevin, I was like, so Kev, if we get back, what do you tell the people, the folks at home about what we went through or what we experienced? Because they're not going to believe us. And he's like, Mikey, you just tell them we were hostages.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're alive and here with us.
Like an embassy blew up or something like that. It was down the road from our hotel.
That was the same. So you were there the same time, Cliff, and
different tours,
tours. Wow.
Yeah, different. I don't know how big it is, but he was somewhere and I was on the other end.
Wow. And the difference between both of that is Cliff has made a living off of just that one story.
I always tell people when the day comes and I do write a book, that'll definitely be an extended couple chapters.
Okay, I look forward to it.
Because I got 2 tours there. Not one, ladies and gentlemen, 2. You got to be wondering, why the heck did I go back twice? Well, the first one, it was bad, but not that bad.
So you said, fuck it, let's go. I'm looking for Udi. I'm looking for Udi.
F it.
All right, where are you at on the social media and everything?
Social media, you can, if you're not my friend yet, I'm hurt. You can now friend request me still at, what is my name on Facebook? Oh, yeah, Mike Mondo. Real name, Mike Brenly. So for all those fakers that want to be Mike Mondo out there, the real one's got my name on it. So make sure you friend request me, Twitter me, at Mike Mondo83. Love interacting with everyone, my fans. And, that's
cool, man.
pretty much
All
about
right,
it.
Mike
I had a
Mondo,
great time.
ladies and gentlemen.
Second time on the show, Colt.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Very much, bud.
Cool.
Okay, I got an amazing guest now coming out to the stage. Please welcome from Men on a Mission, Oscar. Yeah. There he is. Hello, my friend. You don't even know how excited I am.
I'm marked out. I'm being interviewed by the guy that interviewed CM Punk. Oh, shit.
Stop it. I'm interviewing the guy who rapped down Men on a Mission to the fucking ring. My whole goal. Do you want to know my goal with this?
Please.
My goal was just to do a freestyle rap battle. Like that's really that was number one in my heart.
Save yourself the embarrassment.
Oh, wow.
I'm tired, but I'm not that tired.
Wow. Okay, I think we'll make that the main event of our little session here.
If you say so.
That's the main event in my heart. This thing's gonna go over like a fart. That was less rappy and more my mother like.
I flew all the way out from California to embarrass Colt Cabana. Ain't that a bitch?
Wow. Wait, so did Oscar have a last name as Oscar, or were you just Oscar?
Well, my mother didn't name me Oscar. Vince gave me that.
No, I know, but I'm saying let's get deep here.
Okay.
The character Oscar.
Yeah.
Did he have a last name?
Let's get deep.
Yeah.
No, he did not.
But okay, but you're in the back. You realize Vince didn't give you a last name, but you want to get into this character. You're gonna wrap these guys down to the ring. In your mind, did you come up with like a last name?
No, but I changed it up. I called myself the Mac Daddy O, the Almighty OSC, not just Oscar, because don't shit rhyme with Oscar.
I never thought of that. God, that makes so much sense.
I mean, you think about it. I learned that in grade school. It was like, name any other word with G-R-Y besides hungry and angry. And 40 years later, I'm still trying to figure that fucking riddle out. And I'm still, I'm a pretty decent rapper, but I have not found nothing to rhyme with Oscar.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Oscar Whoppers?
No, not even close.
Lobster? Lost her. I lost her.
Oscar lost her. Oh, that's pretty damn good.
Hey!
Okay.
Good on the front row.
That's pretty damn good. I'm going to use that.
Oh.
Yeah, but
I can only picture you calling up Vince McMahon after this is done. Be like, Vince, I got something new to bring to the table.
No, I'm going to call my wife and be like, Oscar, I lost her. She's going to hang up the phone.
So I've heard stories, and you can tell me what's what.
Okay.
You rapped for like the story. I guess some of us heard that you rapped for Vince McMahon in an elevator. Is there any truth to that?
That is pretty close.
Okay.
I was in Vegas. I was a rapper before I got into the WWE, and I was working with this comedian named Andrew Dice Clay, real in his prime.
Some comedian. Only my hero.
Yeah. And, during sets, we were at Bally's. That's what we was performing. And I was at Caesar's Palace gambling. And then all of a sudden, there was this big commotion in the lobby. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I see this real colorful character walk by. And it was Macho Man Randy Savage. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go do a rap for Macho Man Randy Savage real quick. So I ran up to him and I said, Mr. Savage, I got a singing telegram for you. And Vince was standing right there. It was Vince, Bruce Pritchard, Jerry the King Lawler, Mr. Perfect, and Macho Man Randy Savage. I'll never forget it. So I did the rap for Macho Man, put Vince in it, put Lawler in it, put Perfect in it, and Vince knew right then it was freestyle. And after that, Macho Man was like, brother, you got a card? I was like, no, I don't got a card, but I'll give you my number. And Vince was like, I want you to give me a call Monday. I was like, well, you got a card, Vince? He didn't have a card on him.
1-800-VINCE.
No, even better. As the elevator was closing, since when the elevator come in, he said it just like announcing on TV. Just give me a call to WWF, Stamford, Connecticut. So
coming to a town near you.
Exactly. That's just how he sounded. So that Monday, I woke up in the morning. I'm like, let's see. Go to the store, get Pampers for the baby, change the tire on the car. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Call Vince McMahon. Yeah, sure. So I'm not expecting this guy to know who I am. You know how people are. We'll do it. I called up there and I said, I'm in Vince McMahon's office. And his secretary was like, oh, yes, he's expecting your call. He's in the air right now, but he's going to call you right back.
Oh, is this Mac Daddy Oscar?
10 minutes later, he called me up, and the rest is history. We went up to Stanford. That's when I first met Mo and Mabel, and I could not believe the size Mabel was when I saw him. I've never seen, besides Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, I never saw nothing that big up close in all my life. And he was like, "You're gonna be Mabel, you're gonna be Mo, and you're gonna be Oscar." And I'm like, Oscar? Who would think that would ever catch on? So that's the story.
Is there any other? Where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn originally.
Brooklyn. Was there any other like African Americans named Oscar?
There's a whole bunch of Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and people of the Hispanic persuasion, but not. I don't know
any other like famous Oscar brothers around.
I don't know too many black Oscars.
Yeah. Oh, do they have? Is that an award they give away? The Black Oscars. That was the greatest joke I ever said. You set me up for that.
That was pretty damn good, there, Cole. You bastard.
Do you remember the rap that you did to Macho Man? Do you remember any of that?
Let me see. I remember it ended. I just remember the ending. There's not a wrestler he can't ravage. I'm talking about the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Yes, Ravage. Ravage. That's such an easy one.
Exactly.
That Oscar would have been so hard and angry.
Yeah.
Like, luckily his name wasn't Randy Angry.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he wasn't.
Yeah, me too. And then I'm trying to remember like my memory of Men on a Mission, and I remember like vignettes with like the L train in Chicago, I would call it, but like the subway, I guess, right?
Yes.
So was it a Brooklyn-based team? I don't even remember.
It was supposed to have been from We were supposed to have been from Brooklyn, and the vignettes showed just different ghetto scenes in New York. People in the park in the hood, the subway, and all that. And it was all centered around that because Men on a Mission was supposed to be, tag team from the hood that made it, and that whole thing.
See, I just don't remember anyone like. My depiction of the hood isn't just dudes in like shiny giant pajamas like Mabel. Like,
well, it didn't start off. I mean, the shiny part came later because they wore these multicolored, and I'm like, we don't dress like that in the hood with a whole bunch of patches sewed together to make an outfit.
You guys remember that?
Yeah,
I don't really remember that.
Whoever's concept of that was way off. So after a few months,
Vince McMahon's just like,
right, this is how they're dressing in the hood. Yeah. They had a T-shirt showed on the back of my damn jacket. I tore that thing off after my debut on TV.
I've been to the hood. This is what they look like.
So I actually came up with the purple and gold because, I thought that would just look better. I mean, because in the hood, I mean, they wear that. In the hood, they're poor, but we still was rocking brand new sneakers.
Right.
And we didn't have a bowl of cereal. We had some brand new shoes.
I like it. And then what's like the most, is there a memorable rap that you got to sing that comes to mind?
The most memorable rap and that I can remember doing was the one that I did with Macho Man Randy Savage for the Lex Express because Macho Man is my idol, and for me to rap side by side with him,
and
that resonates more than any other rap that I did.
And you were a huge Lex Express fan.
Yeah,
how could you not be? Right?
I love the Lex Express.
How could you? So what was it? It was like set up the scenario for that rap, I guess.
Vince was stirring his coffee, and he was like, "You need to get together with Randy Savage." I'm like, "All right, I get together with Randy. He's right over there in the corner. What am I supposed to say to him?" And we went into the studio in Stanford about a week after that, and then we recorded the rap.
So what? What was the rap? It was just you and him together rapping?
It was all. See, all the raps we would do. Like, we would do a rap that would talk about every pay-per-view. Like, we did one for WrestleMania, SummerSlam, then the Lex Express one was not a pay-per-view, but it was just something to support Lex.
It's bigger than a pay-per-view, that Lex Express.
They would do the chorus, I would do the rap, but during that time, it was myself and Macho Man. We was rapping back and forth. Going to Detroit was the home of Bill and Beer and any other Pistons who were really going to cheer. And then we would go back, and it was. You got to look it up on YouTube.
Cool.
It's cool.
I cannot wait.
I'm sure you can.
That's true. Okay.
You know what? You asking for it.
No. I'm so excited.
This guy must be crazy. He gotta be bananas. I'm talking about the one and only Colt Cabana. But Colt, I'ma say it. I kicked your ass in front of audience on your own podcast. I'm sorry.
I'm going to leave it at that. I don't even think I can touch it, man. Before he goes, he's not into rugs. Please listen up, because he's got some plugs.
Yeah.
Decent.
At Mom Oscar, and Facebook is Men on a Mission of Legacy.
All right, give it up for Oscar, ladies and gentlemen. Very cool. Thank you, buddy. That was great. Thank you. All right. His name is Oscar, and he's here to say hip hop hooray.
told me 10 minutes. CM Punk had more than a damn episode of Raw.
Oh my God. He's trash talking. Okay. The next guest coming to the fake stage. Please welcome Biff Busick. Biff rules, ladies and gentlemen. Local boy done good.
I'm actually kind of nervous right now.
Oh, stop.
I don't know I'm going to follow that.
Yeah, that is a little hard. Well, you got any rapping chops?
Yo, baby, yo.
That is not yours. PN News would be very upset right now. But did you ever think about doing, I'm kind of weird. So, I have done many freestyles in my car while going on. See, a lot of wrestlers, do you do promos in your car?
I'm probably more weird than you. And
Really?
I don't know. I get uncomfortable. I don't know. I'm not a very good talker sometimes. I don't like to.
Says the man with a podcast.
Exactly. And I don't know. Just sometimes I get really nervous talking by myself. I'd rather talk here with you rather than by myself in my car. Just a weird thing to me. I'm not really.
So hold on. If we're in a car. Wait, are we in a car? What are you talking about?
On a stage, right?
Yes. Tony House, if you could rip that bag open as loud as humanly possible. Everybody take a shot. So I'm basically the gist of that story was I've been known to freestyle rap in my car while I'm by myself. But I think it's too scary to do it here.
Yeah, people looking at you in the other cars. I don't know.
No, I think that's always fun to watch weird people in different cars. No, you're weird, you said.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. Just especially first time impression type of guy. I don't know. I always stink at talking to people.
Oh, I think, and I might be wrong because I've come to this point in my career where I used to be mad at the guys who didn't remember me, and now I'm the guy who probably doesn't remember sometimes when I meet somebody. But we met at a Chikara show. I met you at a Chikara show, and you put up a good impression. I was impressed.
Maybe I'm thinking about it too much then. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the worst first impression you've ever given?
Oh, man.
A lot of people know my John Cena high and tight. That didn't work out too well.
Worst first impression? Probably with girls usually.
Yeah.
I meet a girl, I'm I don't know. I just don't know ever what to say.
But do you ever have a good wrestling one?
I do. That's actually my story I want to tell.
Is it making a first impression?
Kinda.
Okay, let's work into it.
Okay. Well, let me preface this by saying that I trained at Lance Storm's wrestling school back in 2010. Thank you, Lance.
Okay.
But that kind of ties in later. So before all that, I was booked as an extra for WWE, and
see, that's where you make the worst first impressions. It's kind of what I was getting at.
And
Yeah.
it's terrible because you don't know what to do. Do you shake this guy's hand? Do you say hi to that guy? Do you know? It's very awkward. And
do you call the Undertaker Mark?
I don't even know what.
There's got to be some person who's done that before.
I just remember. So we're all at ringside, and usually if you're an extra, they call you down to the ring, and you got to kind of just hang out and just watch the guys kind of work out in the ring. And this one guy, I'm going to name him. I don't care. His name is Kevin Knight.
IWF's Kevin Knight.
Yes.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't give him.
Is it IWF's Kevin Knight?
IWF, yeah, New Jersey.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it.
Oh, you're not. Okay, sorry. I like him, but you might not.
Well, the thing is we're standing there. He goes, you know what, guys? We should probably do something. Let's kind of chain wrestle and show them that we want to be here to work. And I was like, oh, I don't know. So him and this other guy were like back flipping and like catching and crazy stuff. And my partner was Brian Malonis, who's like a 300-pound guy. And he was looking at me like, I'm not going to do this. I just don't want to chain wrestle. So I was like, oh no. And all these other guys are
He's just like, I want to eat catering.
he just wanted to chill. And I look over at Arn Anderson, and he's looking at us because he's at like the announcer's table, and he's just going like, no, don't do that. So I'm just like, oh. So I got nervous. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I go up and like, usually the bathroom, like the public bathrooms where the fans go, like you walk up the little stairs in the stands to go to the bathroom.
Also where Brian Kendrick jerks off.
Ooh.
That's a known thing.
Luckily, well, it might be worse. So I walk into a stall, and as soon as I open the stall door, I see Chris Jericho taking a poop.
Hold on, did you open the stall or did you see like the bedazzled kick pads like underneath?
I stormed right in because I was nervous. I just wanted to get out of that situation I was in. So I open, and Chris is taking a poop.
And he doesn't lock it?
No, right open.
Just
And like, I don't know, like when I take a poop, I don't want anyone to look at me. I want to be in my.
You don't want anyone to even know that you did it, right?
I think it's like the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So me and Chris, we locked eyes. It felt like it was forever.
Hold on, but I know this is audio. But he's got like his trunks down, like
he was full poop,
and you could see like the mangina formed from the tuck under, right?
All that I saw was his eyes. That's all I saw. And he looked at me, I looked at him, and right away he got up, he pulled his pants up right away. No wipe, no nothing. Just pulled his pants up, and he got right in my face, like nose to nose. And this seemed like it was hours, but it was probably only a couple of seconds. But he got right in my face. He looked at me, and he just walked by me. No conversation or anything. So I was just like, oh, wow. So now we have to fast forward now, probably a year or so. And I'm in Calgary, training at Lance Storm School. We're at this bar, all the students. And Chris Jericho is there that night at the bar. So the DJ's like, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say what's up to Lance Storm students all hanging out over here. And also Chris Jericho's here. And Jericho comes over and talks to us and everything. And I go over to shake his hand. I go, oh, can I buy you a drink? He goes, absolutely. So we go over to the bar.
Hold on, you shook his hand?
Oh, yeah. Hey, man.
After he didn't shake his hand after he took a shit?
Well, I wanted to make good.
That's a risky handshake.
So we go to the bar. We do a shot of Grey Goose. And before we do the shot, I go, hey, man, I just don't know if you remember this, but we've met before. And he goes, yeah, you look familiar. He goes, how do I know you? And I look at him. I go, actually, I was put as an extra. He goes, what city? And I was like, Boston, Mass. He goes, okay. And he goes, and I go, I actually walked in on you taking a shit. So he looks at me. He looks down at his Grey Goose. And he just looks at me and goes, cheers. We both took a shot.
Very nice.
So we're cool.
Very nice. Amazing. All right. You did good. Like, for years, you thought this guy, I can only assume, like, because he looked deep in your eyes, right?
For a long time.
Yeah,
Felt like a long time.
Right. So he, like, knew exactly who you were, and you were the serial. Like, what do you think was going through his head?
I just, if it was me, I would have probably done the same thing. That's a sacred thing. You're pooping, you don't want to.
Yeah, but like it's like he stared you down and like Terminator style, like he took a memory of you and you'll be forever known. Did you think like you're banned from all WWE projects?
I just felt like I deeply offended him.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry for walking in on you, but I didn't get a chance because he just mean mugged me.
Sure,
and walked right up.
Ooh, I high and tight John Cena and you watched a man shit.
Yep.
Luckily, I think it's working out for both of us now. Yeah.
Good experience.
Biff, a guy that I think we're all keeping our eye on. I'm glad you can be on here. I'd like to invite you back to come on for a full episode. And you're doing good stuff I hear in PWG and of course
trying, man.
all around. I think and especially a hometown boy, right? We're all kind of happy for him. Fuck yeah. It's always nice. I always like, like when you get to watch the guys come up from the different territories and, especially it's like obviously the Chicago fans that, and not for me, but like there's a group of Minnesota fans and a lot of people in like Louisville when I did IWA. It's just like they get to be a little more extra prouder when your guy goes on to do stuff. So here's your people and we're excited for it, man. Biff and Ted's excellent podcast adventure, right?
Yes, please. Twitter at Biff and Ted. And then my own Twitter is @_Star Destroyer because I love Star Wars. It's my favorite movie of all time. And I'm a nerd, I'm sorry. And thank you very much.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
All right. Biff, ladies and gentlemen. right, and lastly, let me welcome to the stage the man who is so far away. This is going to be the longest walk of all time. He hails from Metropolis. You have seen him in such wrestling shows as Pro Wrestling. Please welcome. He's doing high fives to everybody now. Let's welcome Chris Hero to the stage. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Colt.
You know, usually after like, because you've been here for the whole show, and so like, whenever like I'm going on stage next and like stories have been told, like I can kind of come right out, and there's like stuff on my mind or like tags I would have anything come like. Did anything hit you while we've been talking out here?
I was very appreciative of the PN News reference.
Yeah.
By Biff. I thought that was good. Yeah, I would have asked Oscar a little bit more about hip hop.
Ooh, well.
I would ask him how he felt about.
Wait, hold on. This wasn't tell me I'm a shitty podcast host. That's not what I was asking.
Well, I'm curious. So what does Oscar think about PN News? I mean, am I the only one that wants to know that? Okay, good. Two other dudes. Cool. No, man, it's what an eclectic bunch you've assembled, for
right?
today. Like we're like the best Survivor Series team of all time.
Also, eclectic is different than eclectic.
I think it's just the pronunciation.
How would you would? But you would,
Eclectic.
if you were to say it again, if you were to come on here again, you'd say eclectic.
Eclectic.
That's how you say it, like normal life.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I do.
okay. By a round of applause, who says eclectic? By a round of applause,
Nobody uses the word.
who says eclectic?
Okay.
Also,
yeah.
I'm the last person who should be calling people out on how to say stuff.
You're going to have a field trip with this.
Is that Claudio?
That's a Claudioism.
Very nice.
Yeah.
A Cesaroism.
Oh man, they're good.
I was trying to think of special trips that maybe you and him took together, and I was thinking because I went to Peru and wrestled.
Yeah, we actually, Claudia and I spent a week in Peru.
Yeah.
We worked for LWA down there, and we both got E. coli our last night.
Wait, doesn't he have a move, the E. coli bomb?
The Ricola bomb.
Oh, close enough.
Ricola. There
It all
it is.
came true.
So the funny thing about that is we ate our last night. We had our show, and then this is also where I was on a Peruvian show, and I was goaded into rapping a verse of Notorious B.I.G.'s "Notorious Thugs" by my Peruvian hosts.
Ooh. He was just like, I have a feeling you know.
No,
the song.
they're like, oh, do you like Nickelback? Right? And I was like, no, I actually like hip hop. And they're like, okay, then rap for us.
Wow.
So I had to do that on television. But it was the same trip.
First, wait, hold on. I would say they were assholes, but I literally just sat here on stage and said, Oscar, rap for me. So I understand his technique.
But then you rapped. Whereas when I was doing it,
Yeah.
there was just some guy that didn't speak any English going, motherfucker, motherfucker, motherfucker. So it's on YouTube. You can find it. So end of this story. Our last night we ate Peruvian Chinese food, which is called chifa, and it was lovely. And then we were both sick the next day. Claudio or Cesaro, his metabolism is so strong that he, like, I threw my stuff up. I got sick immediately, threw up, and felt better. But he metabolized his E. coli like that and got back to the States and was sick for about 3 weeks. So,
Whoa, hold on.
yes.
Wait, so he metabolized,
We both ingested the same stuff.
but you threw it up.
Yeah, my body was like, get out of here.
Oh, it right away went right into his
yeah, and he
body.
was just like, all right, I need muscles to create cells for this in my liver.
Right.
You know, he has such an efficient body and metabolism system, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's very impeccable. He's a specimen, right?
If you will.
Yeah.
If you will.
And also, I mean, everybody here has seen him wrestle, so you know that he looks good, but he's also like
But he also feels good.
He also feels good.
Sorry.
He's like 100 times stronger than he actually looks, you know? So, yeah, there it is.
I like,
Do you have any funny, Claudio? A little. like Claudio has the worst sense of humor alive. Yeah,
But like the best worst sense. of
yeah.
humor.
I mean, it depends on how much time you spend around him. Since now he's been speaking English over a decade. I mean, probably 15 years now. But when he first got over here, he was very much into word puns, like really bad, like grandpa puns.
like he loved opening up a Laffy Taffy and reading that joke inside.
God, and then not just reading it, but putting it into his filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Like, and then it took him a while to work on his delivery of jokes because there was one time we were out at PWG and he was very excited to tell me a joke, and he's like, "Yes, last night I had a dream that I was a muffler and I woke up tired." And I was like, "Wait, no, I think you had a dream you were a muffler and you woke up exhausted."
Oh man!
And he was like, "Shit." But just an example of a terrible Claudio.
Can I give you one that I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, just one that I use to this day is Colt. Hey, Colt, is that a good?
That's Colt.
Colt, why does the Snoop Dogg carry umbrella? Why, Claudio? For drizzle.
Yeah, but I think the worst, because we lived together for years, so when you spend so much time together, the cute, funny things aren't always so cute and funny. And I'm sure I did many things to annoy him, but it would be like, it would be such a stretch. Like, I remember at practice one day, I kind of like turned my ankle, and I was like, my ankle. And he was like, Kurt ankle? Huh?
That's genius.
I'm like, that's not even a joke.
Yes,
That's
it is. It's a good joke.
I don't know.
It's one of my favorite jokes, I think. It's so funny because literally 2 days ago. Wait, what?
It's everybody laughed.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
They're really disproving your theory. Literally 2 days ago, I was on a show with Christopher Daniels, and I said something about like, I didn't know the joke, but it was just like, we should do a Vine where like, oh, like you're Kurt Angle and you had a bad time, so it'd make you the fallen Angle, but it'd really be fallen Angel. And it was just the worst. But in my mind, it was the greatest. Like there was gold there, and I feel only me and Cesaro would feel that way.
Yeah. Good one.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
We've done so many shows together over the years, and I know there was a scenario that I think before we get into that, I guess I don't know if we could brainstorm other shows or other weird things that we've done together.
Okay, I've got a little mini story before I get into the juicy one.
Okay.
So Cabana and I both started for IWA Mid-South in the summer of 2000, which is almost 15 years ago. That's crazy.
I think Bryan Adams wrote a song about it.
The summer of 2000.
Yeah, we wrote our first real Sixth Spring. What is it? I don't even know. There it is.
But I was coming from Midwest Independence. You were coming from the Chicago scene, and the IWA Mid-South locker room was insane for us. Like there were always fights. There was all kinds of these crazy characters and very scary people. And we were both 19, 20-year-old kids going into that environment at the same time. And we were just kind of like, oh, all right. I think the first IWA show I ever did, Mitch Page got hit in the head with a clock, and it sliced half of his head open. It's like a flap. Hanging. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what I've gotten myself into.
One of the first shows I was at for IW Mid-South, they lit the table on fire.
And Richard X got powerbombed into a flaming table, and he caught on fire.
Yeah.
The table went out like that.
So, yeah.
He took his shirt off, and then his skin came off, too.
So I remember, like, after the first couple shows, I was like, oh, like, nobody's murdering me. Like it was a success. Like,
sure.
Not that I got over or anything. It was that, like, I didn't die or get stabbed.
And then I think we both got really desensitized to the atmosphere of the locker room, and we're just, oh yeah, that's just what happens, whatever. And then later that year, a guy we know named that's no longer in wrestling, the rugby thug Trent Baker. He made his foray into IWA Mid-South, and he was also from Ohio like myself, and just a very polite, very mild-mannered guy. And he came into IWA, and we're all like, oh God, he's gonna go crazy. So the week after his debut for IWA, I was talking to him, and I'm like, "Hey, man, how was it?" And he's like, "Well, the match was cool, and there's a lot of great people, but I'd be lying if I said there wasn't something that bothered me." And I was like, "Oh shit! Like what? What, Rugby Thug?" And he's like, "There's some people doing drugs in the locker room." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like there's maybe a couple people smoking weed or whatever, but nothing. That's kind of how it is." And he's like, "Can you smoke weed from a pipe?" And I said, "Yes, Rugby Thug, you can smoke weed from a pipe." And he goes, "Oh, thank Christ! I thought they were all smoking crack."
I like it. I guess that would, like, the first time you see, like, a little...
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. And then he's just like, "Wow, all right, a lot more people smoke crack than I initially anticipated."
Imagine being in wrestling and seeing all the weed smoking that happens and just, like, never putting it together and always thinking, just, like, 20 years into wrestling, you're like, there's so many crackheads in pro wrestling. Remember when RVD and Sabu got pulled over for doing crack?
Yeah, man. Just the different gimmicks and stuff. Izzy High and Weed Man.
Yeah,
he would be Crack Man.
Weed Man is Crack Man, right?
That's good.
Okay, and so then I think there was a story that we wanted to get into, and I think I have a picture on my computer. I found, like, there's one, I think, where Dragon has you, like, you're like in an Indian deathlock, and then, like, your head is on my knee. We did this three-way.
It's like a triple submission.
Yeah. And, like, I was looking at the picture, and I always thought it was kind of cool, like, how far, like, we've all come, especially me and you.
Sure.
Daniel Bryan, he's done all right for himself.
Yeah.
But us, boy.
Oh, man.
Whew. Yeah. But that was the match where this specific instance went down.
Yeah. So let me set the table for everybody here. We used to work in Michigan for a guy named A.T. Huck. He ran a group called IWF for a little while, and there were a couple other groups around there.
Yeah, but he was also an ECW referee.
Yes, he's the last year he refereed quite a bit. He helped. He came in with, like, Sabu and the Sheik and Rob Van Dam and those guys. Michigan guy. So he booked you and Punk as a tag team one time, and what you kind of wrestled as Dan Severn. Pretty much?
we were. His big idea was he had so many hardcore guys on the show that we were going to be his anti-hardcore. We love wrestling, and we love wrestling so much that I was like, oh, who epitomizes wrestling? Dan Severn. So I wore the same trunks that Matt Classic owns, two different wrestlers, and then I remember Punk wore, like, one of my singlets that was, like, an amateur wrestling singlet, and, like, he didn't know to wear, like, underwear underneath, so, like, you just see all of his junk just, like, hanging out.
And he also had the wrestling headgear, which caused you guys to do, like, the Steiner Brothers thing, because I think there's a thing in wrestling when you put the headgear on, you just become Rick Steiner.
Of course.
But yeah, so this promoter, had been using us for a couple years, and this was my first couple months in Ring of Honor. I think it was 2006, because I think it was a quad. I think it were like 4 shows in a row. That's why I remember this. But the main event for this show, it was in some sort of a Polish hall, was Colt Cabana versus myself versus Daniel Bryan, and the show was lightly attended. I think maybe 20-ish, 30-ish people, something like that. So whatever. We're like, all right, let's go do this. I remember watching the first half of the show, and I'm always, at least my philosophy when it comes to wrestling, I never worry about who I'm following, because I'm always like, well, if they tear it up, I'll just try to do something different. I'm always convinced that I'll get the crowd some way. So the crowd was very dead before our match. So I'm thinking, like, all right, I'm entering first. I'm gonna. Or I think were you out there?
I think I was out there because I remember seeing it.
Because Danielson was not out there yet. So you made your entrance, and I make my entrance, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come out with so much energy. These people are going to flip their shit. Like, everybody's going to love it. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to high-five every single person in the place because there's only 20 people. So I come out, and I'm like, yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, whatever, right? So then I get up on the apron, and in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do, like, a fancy ring entrance that everybody will surely love. So this is where I pause the story, and I say that the match before ours was a table match between Corporal Robinson and Sabu, right? So somebody had gone through a table right before that. Chikara referee Bryce Remsburg was the referee. And as I am about to make my amazing entrance, he notices a chunk of table in the ring. So he nudges over to the ring announcer, who's this mid-50s biker guy, JJ Ford. And he's, hey, brother, yeah, it's good. It's So he goes, hey, there's a table in the ring. You might want to grab that out. So this mid-50s ring announcer, handlebar mustache and all, leans over to pick up this piece of table as I ascend to the top rope, and I backflip. And as I land on the backflip, I don't know what happened. I was just like, oh, what? And I look, and I fucking double stomp backflipped the 50-year-old ring announcer. He looked like a chalk outline on the ground, and I'm like, holy shit. And it took me a couple seconds to figure out what happened, and then I see the guys in the back watching, and they're kind of like running laps back and forth because this thing just happened, and then I pissed my pants.
Did you piss your pants?
I pissed my pants because I was laughing so hard that, and it wasn't a lot, but it was more than a dribble. And then Bryce Remsburg very calmly took the microphone from the ring announcer, and then he announced Bryan Danielson to the ring. And then I get to the back, and I look at him, and I'm like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. He's like, brother, thank you. Great work.
Yeah.
All right. Great work.
Like he's done that. He's done that a million times before.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Chris, where are you on social media and everything?
Oh, the Chris Hero on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, that's about all.
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Pro Wrestling Tees. Chris Hero's got a page, much like even wrestlers that don't wrestle have.
Yeah, Ahmed Johnson's got one.
Yeah, Ahmed Johnson.
You're basically just as cool as Ahmed Johnson.
I don't know about that.
Ahmed Johnson also sells 7 different red elbow pads that you could put all around your body. He should. I don't know.
We have an Ahmed Johnson story. We'll talk about this another time. But
another time?
Yeah.
Or right now?
I mean, do you want to talk about it right now? We got time?
If you want to tell an Ahmed Johnson story.
Okay, just really quick. I have a friend who is Facebook friends with Tony Norris, who is Ahmed Johnson. So somebody commented on one of his pictures, so it showed up in my Facebook feed, and I was like, oh, shit, that's Ahmed or whatever, and I didn't realize he was tagged in it.
Okay.
So I posted a link to the Fun with Ahmed videos. Are you guys familiar with those? Fun with Ahmed. Okay, this is awesome because you guys are going to go on YouTube and look this up.
Yeah.
Basically, there was I think
a video game.
A video game, maybe a PlayStation, early PlayStation.
I think like Nintendo 64. Oh, it might have been PlayStation.
Maybe
yeah,
PlayStation.
Okay.
And it's Ahmed Johnson's one of the characters, and it has these cut scenes after a match, and he's talking trash. And he's like, we're not going to turn the powerhouse. And so somebody put these videos together, and they subtitled them, and it's like, clearly not what he's saying, but it's like bozo souping stars and wonton stew, right? So I think these videos are hilarious. Fun with Ahmed 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I posted it on there, and holy shit, Ahmed Johnson did not like that.
Oh, had he never seen it before?
I don't know if he thought I made the videos or I was openly mocking him, but I was like, oh. So then he posts a series of messages to me telling me about my fag dad and that he did not dip into my mother's fish market. And then my one repeating thing was that I was trying to ask him why he wore knee pads on his thighs.
That was your comeback to him.
Yeah. Basically, long story short, we made amends.
Oh, good.
I actually, the guy at AIW that has the Ahmed Johnson jean jacket.
Yes.
I posted a picture of that, and he's like, hey, brother, could you send me a couple of those?
A couple of the jean jackets?
A couple of the jean jackets.
Send me some of my jean jackets.
Yeah, no, I don't have them. But,
I'm glad that
we have since made up, and when I have a birthday, Tony Norris will now send me a message.
Hey,
say happy birthday.
Chris Hero, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Very good. All right, guys, that is the show for this week. I want to have big thanks to all of you here for sitting here and listening and watching. Thank you to you guys at home. Let's thank our guests, Just Incredible, Mikey Mondo, Oscar, Biff Busick, and Chris Hero. A big thanks to some of my sponsors, highspots.com. Hundreds of full-length titles available to download, plus digital downloads, plus gear, masks. I could do it a lot quicker when I'm reading. Sorry about that. ProWrestlingTees.com. Support all your favorite independent pro wrestlers on there by buying a t-shirt directly from them. And tweakaudio.com/Colt. Earbuds that I'm not wearing right now, but I do have in my pocket or right over there by the announce table. Get over 30% off and free shipping when you go to my link, tweakedaudio.com/Colt. All right, that has been the podcast for this week. A nice, fun live show. I truly appreciate it. This has been The Art of Wrestling for Colt Cabana. I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks. Oh, there is a fun Easter egg, but before we get into it, please remember to support our sponsor, SuplexApparel.com, shipping worldwide pro wrestling-focused clothing for like-minded wrestlers and fans. It's a clothing line, it's a team brand, it's SuplexApparel.com. Everybody has to take a shot every time they hear Tony Atlas laughing in the background of this podcast. I should have saved that for the podcast.
Say it again. We'll laugh.
Will you guys all laugh if I say that again? Okay. You might be playing the part of Tony Atlas today. That'd be the best if we had someone on as a Tony Atlas impersonator while Tony Atlas is literally over there in the building.